Hello and welcome back to the channel. This one will go on my normal YouTube channel. We're making two videos today, one by me and one by Hannes, who's behind the camera. Hannes' video will go on our Swedish channel on Husideal, which is the brand we use to sell houses and small cabins in Sweden. And in this video I just wanted to take a quick walk into our glamping pods that we now have. Well, we actually have two leftover pods. So I bought two that were supposed to be shipped to Florida in December-ish or January when I was in Florida, but they didn't arrive. And then me and my wife went to Sweden, and since these are produced in Lithuania, I told him to send them here instead now that he was so delayed, because it's easier for us to sell them when we're here in Sweden than have them shipped to the United States when we're not there. So therefore we had pods shipped to Sweden, and these are now leftover pods. And I'm going to show you around and tell you a little bit about the business backstory on all of this. So come along. The brand? We have chosen Husideal, which means house ideal. And then here's the glamping pod. This is the one that just arrived. You saw the last video I made. It's not posted yet, but when you see this it will be posted, where I took delivery of these. And this one is made by the first Lithuanian producer I got in touch with. And he's been shipping pods to Florida previously, and he's delivered some glamping pods to a camping here in Sweden too. You've seen videos of that too by the time you see this one. However, he ran into financial difficulties, and the camping here in Sweden to where I delivered two pods wanted 4, and then I wanted these two to Florida at the same time, but he didn't deliver any of them. So as I was waiting for those, I decided to contact another producer, and that other producer is the guy who delivered this one. So this producer was actually the inventor of this structure, and that producer that built that one is a small farm style production that bought the rights from these guys. But as I was behind on him, I got in touch with these guys, and they were really happy about the opportunity to sell in Florida and also to take over some of these deliveries for Sweden. So they were very nice to me and let me ride in on the absolute bottom level, like as if we had been partners for several years sort of pricing. So I ended up getting these almost cheaper than those, even though it's the same structure. So now this factory has delivered 2 pods to the camping in Sweden, and this guy has delivered 2 pods to the camping in Sweden. And these guys will be taking over their deliveries to Florida. And that will probably be the only producer we deal with for these type structures now, as they're much bigger and much more efficient. They have a massive warehouse full of lumber, so they have lumber enough to produce for several years actually to come, and they have a very good system for their ordering. So we now have a really good producer on these. But in this turmoil I had some of these pods left over, so we got 3 actually, and one of those that have a little bigger interior is going to be used by my wife to start a coffee business. And then these 2 we're going to sell off as is from here now in Sweden. So the ones you're looking at are for sale. If any one of you are interested in one of these, you just let me know. We have this one first. It has a little bigger deck. This deck is 1 meter, the deck on the other one is 60 centimeters. It's also got a little higher quality doors and finishes, and it's better lumber than in the other one. Because as of now, 2022, summer of 2022, the spring has been a hard one when it comes to getting lumber, especially for the Baltic countries, because they bought all their lumber from Russia. And now you have sanctions on Russia, so they can't import the lumber from Russia, and hence they've got big trouble getting good lumber. This company, however, buys most of their lumber from Scandinavia, so they're still running as normal, besides their whole warehouse full of lumber though. Inside, these pods are empty, so this is the 4 meter long 2 by 2.4 meter wide one, which is technically made for like 2 single beds or 1 double bed, like an overnight cabin, guest house, or whatever you might want. It's got insulated 2-layer glass, and same in the window. And then the solid wood structure with real solid timber. Actually, I think it's 26 millimeter, the timber, which actually gives quite a good insulation value. If one wants these type pods insulated, they have a one where they've infused insulation in between 2 layers of wood. It's called a thermo pod, which we can always get for you as well if you want one. So this is pod number 1. And we will move on over to pod number 2. You're doing a really good job as a cameraman, Hannes. So pod number 2, the finishing here exists for this pod too. It's inside, not mounted yet. We'll put it up, and then pod number 2, it's got a simpler door, no aluminum to keep the water out and stuff like that. Simpler handle, but it works. It's still very good. It's definitely warmer. I guess this took up all the sun during the day because it's a lot warmer than the other one. They've strengthened the structure with a beam here, which is not really necessary, but done. And then I think what we feel too is that the humidity is a lot higher in this one because he used cheaper lumber, which means the humidity in the lumber was a lot higher when he assembled and sent it. So I think this one will actually dry out from the sun here for a few weeks, which helps it. But yeah, this is the second one. It's got smaller deck, 60 centimeter, but that gives a little bit more room inside. Ooh, it's like a sauna in there.
Yes, it is. Really nice.
It's a lovely product though, and that smell of fresh wood is heavenly. I love the smell of fresh wood.
Smells quality.
Smells quality. So there you go. These 2 pods for sale. If anyone is interested, let us know. Thank you for watching and take care. I guess you're zooming in on this.